So I stayed up for them 2 days, and we made 1,400 on the first day. That was between two. And then it was like 900 and something on the second day.
Right, welcome to today's interview, guys. This is with Jack. Jack is making over $20,000 a month with OFM. This is one you don't want to miss. Really interesting story. Check out all the links down below, and I'm going to roll the interview. So for everybody watching and tuning into this video, Jack, give everybody a bit of context about who you are and what is it that you do.
So thank you for having me, Marcus. So I've been doing OFM for about 6 to 7 months now. I started in around February. So for a bit of context, in December, I was managing a bar. So I made cocktails. I'm a mixologist, throwing the tins, make sure the balance of the syrup is right, etc. Now it was fun, but it was 12-hour shifts, 5 days a week. It was long. People are influencing you to drink alcohol all the time, and it's not really healthy. Now, on New Year's, I decided I wanted some change. I wanted to do something new. So I quit my job. I had 2 months worth of savings, and that's all I had to live on. The first thing I did was tried SMMA. So I went and signed somebody. I'm still signed with them now. It's a real estate client. I do all their marketing for them, all their social media. And then after that, I moved on. I still have that client as well, but I've moved on to Nutro Cosmetics. So again, I signed with a big brand in France who wanted to open up in the UK. So I still have them as clients to this day, and it's kind of what ticks me along still. But it's safe to say in the last 2 months, like, my interests did move from marketing into OF marketing. And it's surprisingly the same thing. It's very, very similar. Of course, some of the methods are a little bit different and there is more intricate parts, but OFM is magical. So with the other 2 jobs, I'm getting paid on a monthly retainer. So no matter what work I do that month, even if I do incredibly and I make them loads of sales, I get that set price. I always consider myself a bit of a salesperson. So, like, for example, when I first quit my job, I started a sales job. It was the first thing I did, and we were selling Red Cross subscriptions. So if you're not from the UK, you might not know what it is, but it's just like, it's a charity. They go abroad, they help people. And now, we were, not to knock the Red Cross, but we were selling it, and I didn't believe in what I was selling. I wasn't doing very well. Well, I was doing well on sales, but I wasn't doing well morally because it felt a bit wrong. Now, as soon as I discovered OF, I realized that it's magical because it's 24/7 sales. So as soon as you sign a client, as soon as you start marketing, you can sell whenever you want. If you want to make money, you go make money. And for me, that was just a motivator to always make money. So the first girl I signed was in February. It was a bit of a trial for me because she didn't want to show too much of herself. She didn't really want to show her face either. So it was definitely a challenge. And I'm sure a lot of people have started this place as well. But it was really good to help me get the systems in place and figure out what I needed to do. So even down to just using Bumble and dating apps. I had about 6 phones within the first month, and I was just constantly doing dating apps, constantly swiping, constantly talking to people. I didn't see anybody for a month. But yeah, so that's pretty much where I've got to now. I've now got 6 models signed with me. I'm not really looking to take any more on for the next couple weeks, maybe a month or 2, just so I can nail down and focus on exactly what needs to be done.
Okay, thank you very much, Jack. That's really interesting. So it was really February is when you first really launched the OFM. Is that right?
Yeah.
Signed your first model in February. So before February, is this when you were working with Red Cross? Is that your last thing before OFM, and then you went into SMMA?
Yeah, so I was doing SMMA and Red Cross kind of at the same time. So I signed the client, and then I was still doing sales because I was like, well, I still want to learn sales and I still have the time. So I was doing both at the same time. Yeah, I finished Red Cross in end of February. I only did it for about 2-3 weeks. I'm still very good friends with my boss. I still talk to him all the time. He's an amazing guy, really good salesperson. Want to get on chatting.
Okay. And how did you find out about OFM? Because I know you mentioned the idea that was like, okay, well, I don't really like the whole just get paid a set fee, whereas with OFM it's kind of churning in the background 24/7. That was what made you actually want to commit to it and go all in. But first of all, if we take a step back, how did you even find out about OFM, and yeah, what was that first kind of introduction to you like?
I'm not even sure how I found out particularly about OFM. Now, I already knew a lot of people that did OF, girls local to me, friends of friends, people I knew even. Um, and it was more a case of I used to look at it as like it was crazy, and I didn't understand how people did it. Like I used to watch Belle Delphine, and I'd watch it because I'm like, how is she doing it? How is she making the money? And then one day I realized it was all through OF, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Now I had a girlfriend in I want to say September last year. If you're watching, hi, how you doing? Um, she was amazing. So she let me like use Snapchat. I made a fake dating profile and we were just bringing guys in through Snapchat and just getting them to tip a bit of money. And I remember it was about October when I realized that I could really make money online. I think I made 80 quid in one night, but through PayPal. So gave her 40, I had 40. She sat there and watched Netflix all night, and I was just there on Snapchat. So as soon as that happened, I realized that there was a switch that needed to be made. And it was
Yeah.
kind of at what point and where, when, and how am I going to make that switch?
Very interesting. It's a similar introduction to same as myself, Jack. So it wasn't a case where like I woke up one day and I was like, right, I want to do OFM. Matter of fact, I've done SMA as well, the same as you.
Mhm.
And yeah, I met a girl in Tenerife who was doing OF already. And it was a very similar thing, like you said, SMA and OFM is the same thing. At the end of the day, it is. It's just a marketing agency, right? You're just trying to
Yeah.
help your client get more income, I guess. But in the same way, they're completely different, of course, in terms of what you're actually marketing. Okay. And then February, you signed your first actual model launch then.
Yeah.
Is that when you joined Aura Consulting or is it a little bit after that?
I only joined Aura about, I want to say a month and a half, 2 months ago.
Okay.
So I was doing passively okay. And I believe that the thing I struggled with the most was I spent too much time on recruitment. Pardon me. So after I signed the first model, I realized that I wasn't going to make big bucks. She wasn't. So I use this theory quite a lot when I try and explain OFM to people that don't really know what it is. A lot of people will come to you and they'll say, "Oh, I'd love to do it, but I don't want to show my face." Um, and then the problem that happens is as a OFM manager, so you are trying to promote her everywhere and you're trying to make sure that she's known globally and that everybody's coming into her website, yet she's trying to do the opposite by hiding. So it's kind of contradicting.
Yeah, 100%. I think most people in this industry they find it out the hard way. They think, oh, well, I can probably work with any model, but there are certain criteria that you need. For example, one,
Yeah.
she needs to be happy to show her face at least. I think that's the bare minimum.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong, you can be a faceless creator and still potentially make 10, 15, 20K a month, but it's going to be a lot more harder than a model who's just happy to do any video, any custom. Um, Okay, that's interesting. So you joined us about a month and a half ago. You started in February. Again, for everybody watching, for a bit of context, so you're at 6 models right now. Are you okay with sharing kind of revenue numbers and how much your models are making and the agency?
Yeah, of course. So I've got 4 models that are doing altogether 4K a month. Well, 4.9K a month. It's not the best. So going back to what I was just saying a minute ago, I started and before I joined you guys, I was really focused on recruitment. And of course I was recruiting models and they were doing really well. And then I was looking for new models straight away. I wasn't setting the systems in concrete. I was getting the systems set up, but I wasn't completely focused on them. Now
Mhm.
I had 3 creators that didn't show their face. And I had a Colombian creator who doesn't speak much English, doesn't have a laptop, etc. So there was a lot of complications with them 4 models. And then I've got 2 models that together are bringing in 16.4 a month. So it's a really mad dynamic that I've got like more on one side doing a lot less and really good on the other side. And I can only really put that down to organic growth. So the only reason, and just being completely honest, the only reason the 2 creators are doing 16.4 is because they're doing more. They're already known in the space. They're already doing bits. Whereas the other creators is, like I said earlier, they're more trying to hide themselves. So it's harder for me to promote. And then at the same time, I have to put my attention where the
Of
resources are
course.
coming in.
Yeah, of course. Well, my piece of advice I'll give to you, Jack, and perhaps anybody watching this, if they're in a similar position as yourself, because it's a very common one. I know it's going to be like difficult and you don't want to, but trust me, if you just drop the free models, I
I'm
believe you said,
dropping,
right?
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
dropping two.
And you just put all your focus into the other two that are actually doing really well already. They're going to go from doing a combine of $16,000 to maybe 25, 30, 40, 50. Because at the
So
end of the
I
day, here's, yeah, go on.
so I was just gonna say I don't work on my own. I work with one of my partners, and I have a back dev as well. So my partner's currently looking after the four models that are doing 5K, and I'm looking after the two that are doing
Okay.
16.5.
So your focus is already put into that. Okay,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
yeah.
That makes so much more sense then. Yeah. But still, yeah, that same ideology is, I mean, even to this day where me and Harry are now, we're currently managing four, and that's
Hmm.
it. We don't want to
Is
take
that
on
between the
anymore.
two of you?
Yeah, correct. Yeah. Like physically, can we? Of course. It just means we'd have to hire a lot more people, more problems, more fires to put out, lower profit margins. So you'd much rather just stick to maybe 2 to 5 models who are making you 6 figures each,
Yeah.
and just yeah, stick with that. So that's what you're working towards. That's fantastic. And so far, you said organic is working the best for you in terms of marketing and bringing in most traffic.
Yeah, so out of my two top models, I've got one that's bringing in organically by herself. She's been in the industry for years, but she's only been on OF for about 150 days. And then I've got another model who's, bless her, she is trying her hardest and she is absolutely incredible, really, really hard working. But for some reason, she's not seeing a decent return on the sub to message ratio. It's like 1 to 25 right now. And I'm trying to iron it out. I've had a few decent pay-per-view sales, a couple $70, $80 here and there. Um, but I put some chatters on her account. It wasn't working, so I've taken the chatters off. I'm chatting myself again. I'm working on Bumble methods with her, some TikTok agency side methods, because she's very good on TikTok, but she's just not seeing the return. But I'm seeing poor quality subs coming in. So it's really just like I'm trying to rebuild and regain a
Mm-hmm.
new fan base, a whole new
Mm-hmm.
different category of subscribers. And I'm just hoping that will refresh it and we can keep building from there.
Okay. What will be best for you? So the model you just mentioned there, where you're kind of rebuilding the audience, right? Is this one of the two models that is doing well already, or is this one of the
Yeah, yeah,
ones?
yeah,
It is, yeah.
yeah.
Okay. And what country is she from?
She's from the UK.
Huh. Okay. And she's posting TikToks in the UK.
Well, she's
And
traveling, so she's posting from like Vietnam, Thailand, etc.
that's probably, yeah, that's probably
Yeah.
why. The solution is just get her to find one of her friends, like even a girlfriend who's in the UK. Give the login details to her. She creates the TikTok, sends it to her friend. Her friend uploads it from the UK. Honestly, that will improve the quality
Best way to do
so
that.
much.
What's the best way to record the TikToks in that case?
Yeah,
Because
this is a good point. I mean, to be honest, the way we've done it before is they can still just upload them through the other phones, so they're pre-recorded, pre-edited, and they still
mhm,
will upload them. You just have to change the metadata. Again, depending on where
yeah,
you edit the video on, but yeah, that seems to still work.
okay,
But this is what I was going to say initially. Either way, your best bet, bro, is to just keep working on kind of what you're doing now, which is fantastic, but still keep building your brand, keep putting your name out
mhm,
there like you are right now with this interview. But then just try and go for the models who are a lot more established already, right? And then the way you're
okay,
going to be able to do that is by just sharing with the world who you are, what you do, and your results. And then eventually they'll start to come to you. And then the same energy and time and focus you put into the ones that you're managing right now, it'll be the same time and energy and effort into a one that's making 6 figures a month, and you'll just get a
mhm,
way bigger paycheck at the end of it. But you're
yeah.
working towards it. You're doing the right steps already, so that's perfect. Great. And then the next one I wanted to kind of move on to, Jack, a little bit for everybody watching who maybe this is the first time they're hearing about me and Aura. Just share your honest your experience with us in general. So how did you even find out about us? How did you get on a call with us? And how was the coaching been like for you?
So, I was doing okay until about I want to say mid-July, start of August, I think it might have been. And like I said, I was doing 4 to 5K a month between like four models. And I thought I was doing decently. I thought I was doing okay. Um, and then I started like diving into the YouTube world a bit more. I started seeing like Shane Francis, Dean Indigo, etc. Um, and then I remember just looking at the stats one day, and I sat there and looked at the stats in details over like the four models, and I just thought to myself, like, excuse my French, but just fuck. Like it wasn't enough. It wasn't exactly what I wanted, because I was devoting so much time to it, and I had the two other clients, that I felt like I was putting my focus where the money wasn't. So anyway, I started looking for mentorships online. I was willing to pay to just have a call with somebody like yourself and sit down and work through what's not working. And then I came across your video about the course and hopped straight on. I literally got the course within minutes. I watched your video and was like, do you know what? That's exactly what I was looking for. I'll get the course. Went through the course instantly, looked at the course and was like, oh God, okay, I need to go change all my contracts, changed all my contracts over. Pretty much finished the course in like less than 10 hours, applied everything. And that was working really well. And then I joined the Discord, and the Discord changed my life even more, because I started networking with more people. So I've been in loads of Telegram groups, loads of WhatsApp groups with like other OF people. But the feeling you get in these groups is that they don't really want to tell you anything, because they're in the group for the same reason you are. Everybody's in that group to gain information, but there's only a handful of people that actually want to give it out. And I feel like there's not even that many people that are actually doing well in that group chat. If it's like 1,000 people, there's probably only 10, 15, 20 that are actually doing well, and nobody else wants to share information. So I joined the Discord, and it was crazy because everybody helps you out. Like, you ask a question, they're like, hey, do this, try this, and you try it and it works, or it doesn't work, and you message him and this guy helps you out, and then this guy's jumping on to help you out. I like when everybody gives their 2p, because if 50 people give their 2p, you got a pound.
I love that. you know, what's interesting, Jack. That's the most common kind of feedback we hear about the coaching. I think the information is great, you know, but information you can find anywhere. I forgot who I heard this from, but somebody basically said, look, all the course really is, it's not like some profound, majority cases, it's not like some profound, magical fucking thing that isn't ever out there and this is the only way you're going to find. No, most of the time all that a course is just all the information that's free already on there online, just collected, filtered out all the bullshit and just stuck with the thing that actually works, and just put in a neat, concise, chronological order, right? That's really all that the course is. Don't get me wrong, it's still valuable, but that's really what it boils down to, right? It's just there to save time. But the community, that's something you can't really find anywhere else. And I hear that all the time. And whenever we do an interview, everyone's always like, yeah, cool, the course is great and all, but the community is where it's at. Yeah, and I completely agree. It's really good to hear. Cool, Jack. So you've had a really, really interesting story, because it's very similar to mine. I done door-to-door. This is way before anything.
Yeah.
I done a door-to-door charity as well. I used to work for RSPCA.
Nice.
Then I done that for about a year and a half. I done it for quite a long time. Then I quit that. I started SMMA, and then I've done that for a good couple of years. Then I met a girl who was doing OnlyFans, started helping her just market her OF link, and then all of a sudden realized, well, this is a lot more lucrative, a lot more easier. Why don't I just go all in? And me and you have had literally an identical journey, which is crazy. Yeah, very, very interesting. So yeah, at the moment you've got 6 models. 2 of them are ones that you're managing yourself. They're doing a bit more than the other ones. And moving forward, what kind of projects you're working on right now? Maybe perhaps staff members, systems, recruitment.
So I have I'm actually making a decision at the moment if I should drop models or if I should recruit more people to manage. Now that's of course a dilemma, and you probably only manage 4 for a particular reason. So I think I am leaning a certain way. Now the other thing I'm trying to work on at the moment is a chatting agency. So I've got 3 to 4 people that work with me at the moment, and I'm just trying to get everybody scheduling their shifts, being able to hop on at a certain time and do chatting, because one of my models is American, the rest are from the UK. One's currently in like Vietnam though, so I've got like every time zone possible. And I remember the first day I signed, so I've got the stats over here. I don't know if you can see. But the day I signed the American model, I didn't sleep. I didn't sleep for about 48 hours because I had nobody else to depend on but myself. And I just signed her. So I had to prove myself to myself and her. So I stayed up for them 2 days, and we made 1,400 on the first day. That was between 2. And then it was like 900 and something on the second day. then I saw a bit of a decline in profits because I burnt out. I burnt out very quickly. So it's just working on getting the chatting set up, and getting the right people working the right times. It's just juggling people at this point, making sure that everybody can do their job and that they can actually chat and they can actually sell. Um, but yeah, you probably have a lot of experience with chatters as well. Um,
So that never
which
stops, by the way, right? So the
yeah,
hardest
yeah.
part in pretty much every business that I've ran so far is always down to the people. That's always the hardest part. That's what it comes down to. What I'm gonna do, Jack, after this Zoom call, I'm gonna stay back and I'm gonna give you all the secrets on kind of how me and Harry have figured out ways to bypass
Yeah,
kind of getting the wrong chatters and making a lot of mistakes. We'll do that. We'll do that after this.
I appreciate it, man.
But for the actual video itself, Jack, I really appreciate you jumping on and sharing your story. I think for everybody watching, please, I really do recommend you guys checking out Jack's social medias down below. Would you like us to link any Instagram or your website down below?
Yeah, sure. You can link my Instagram, Jack R Bird. I'm always active on there. If you need anything, reach out to me. I'm happy to help. That's
And
what I'm here for.
for any models that are watching this, by the way, Jack, because they're probably going to be curious. So, what is it that you actually do within your management agency? What kind of services and what particular parts do you manage for them, and what do you do for them?
So I liaise everything between my agency and the model. I make sure that if you sign with me, you're happy at all times and you will remain happy at all times. If you're not happy, there's something that I'm not doing right. Sure that you might be unhappy about things that are out of my control, but I'll try my best. Um, Apart from that, it's genuinely I work round the clock. You can message me at any hour. I'm always working, always trying to improve your profits. I help with brainstorming. I'll have hour-long calls with all of my models, at least once a week, and we just brainstorm exactly what kind of content she needs to be working towards. I've got a lot of girls that do live streams, so we just try and set out systems and just make as much money as we possibly can. Another thing I just want to stress before I leave is um, there needs to be a lot of respect as well. I believe in this industry, I like to keep it very friendly and I like to be friendly with the people that I work with. Um, I don't like seeing agencies with disputes. I don't like seeing people arguing in messages and DMs. I don't think there's room for that in this business.
Completely agree. I think one thing that I can definitely sense, Jack, more than pretty much anybody else that I've spoken to, period, in this industry, is the fact that you'll go the extra mile. You mentioned already when you signed that one model in America, you stayed up for fucking 48 hours just to prove to yourself and the model that you're the right agency to work with. I don't hear that too often, bro. I honestly
Well,
don't.
I've signed models that are near to me as well, that actually live local to me, and
Mm-hmm.
I've dropped them off phones at like 1 a.m. so they can do verifications because they're awake. I've gone and bought laptops and fixed the laptop and given it to a girl so she can do like Bumble verifications for me. I'm just I want it to work, and I can't stress enough that
I
that's
love
what
that.
other people need to do. Just
I
do it,
love that.
do it.
Well, the results speak for themselves, and not only do you have the results, Jack, but what you just said there, I think that's going to get everybody to go ahead and DM you, bro. So that's incredible, Jack. Once again, thank you very much for jumping on. I appreciate you, and I look forward to doing a catch up one of these in about a year's time. See where you're at then.
You're welcome, Marcus. Thank you, mate.